Okay, it should be on. It's giving me the Hangout is on air thing. Ask somebody I know to send me a link so I know exactly when it pops up because there's some kind of weird delay. It's like a minute or 2 minutes, so I just want to try to get this timed right so I don't start rambling on and then nobody knows what's going on. Anybody, I should mean, that's interested in listening to all this fucking shit. Just give me 1 sec here to double check. We'll start in a minute here. All right, it looks like it's going. As I said in the paste bin that I put up last night, my voice is shit. I've got a hell of a cold going on right now, so it's gonna sound terrible, and I'm probably gonna cough a lot and keep smoking because I'm fucking stupid. That's what stupid people do. Originally I was gonna jump right into it, but I don't even think you can really start this without addressing the whole Breitbart bomb that just got fucking dropped on the head of all those journalists who were saying there's no collusion, there's no forced narrative, it doesn't exist. You had people for the last few weeks downplaying it or putting up articles where they mock people who are following Gamergate and say they're conspiracy theorists, they're wearing tinfoil hats, there's nothing there, it doesn't exist. And then what happens? Well, our little hero rides in and just nukes the motherfuckers. And there it is in black and white. It's the people from these different various websites talking about creating a common narrative. We are going to talk about this. We're not going to talk about that. If I recall right, let me just double check the article so I'm not fucking this up. Where is it? Should be right at the top. It was starting with, I believe, Kyle Orland from Ars Technica. Or he's in there somewhere. There was something that he wrote. Yeah, Orland continued, I would love to use my platform to reproach this kind of behavior, but that would go against Quinn's valid and understandable desire not to have this personal matter publicized by the media. Maybe we should just stick to Twitter to boost the signal on this one, rather than our front pages. Maybe we should get a public letter of support going around decrying these kinds of personal attacks, signed by as many sympathetic journalists and developers as we can. Maybe we should just use this as an excuse to give more attention to our work. I know I've been meaning to review Depression Quest since its Steam release. And that is Orland of Ars Technica. So if you remember that article that went around the I don't even know what the fuck you want to call it. It was a letter from the community of developers and journalists and other people, essentially saying that, oh, we want peace and everything's fucking honky-dory and saying bad things is mean. It was a very, generic and vague piece of shit. But now it looks like it was completely manufactured. I mean, if that's what I'm reading here, unless I'm reading this wrong, but what the fuck? I don't understand how these people can pretend that this isn't a real issue. This is collusion. It's right there. I've already seen a few of them try to damage control this on Twitter, saying it's not a big deal, or, oh, who cares, it's just a Google group. They're always moving those fucking goalposts, aren't they? First, there's no collusion happening, and then when you find evidence of it, well, that's not a big deal. That's not a lot of collusion, as if that's fucking excusable. But I think what a lot of people are missing out on is one of the more important points. Let me see if I can find it here. It should be at the very end of the article. This revelation echoes the 2010 journalist scandal in which liberal reporters were caught colluding and scheming their ideological opponents in a private mailing list set up by Ezra Klein, now the editor-in-chief of Vox.com. The exposure of journalist cost Washington Post reporter David Weigel his job after Weigel was seen mocking conservative figures on whom he'd also reported in the pages of the Post. So something similar already happened that we're seeing right now, and people lost their job for it. So if you have this group of journalists that are colluding and working together, and they're getting developers to join in on that, well, how did they get those developers, those people that are working at Sony and Microsoft, people working at EA and Activision? How did they get those people to sign it? If they're having private talks between themselves, passing this list around, does that mean they're friends with the people that signed it? What is the response from corporate? I want to know what's going on with Sony, Microsoft, and those companies, Naughty Dog, all the others. Do you support this? Your employees colluding with journalists to put out a fake narrative that is essentially the build-up to attacking gamers, your audience. As a business, how does that model work? It is just mind-blowing. And then, as if this wasn't, proof positive enough of the shit that these people are doing, what happens immediately after the Breitbart article comes out? Kotaku releases a fucking Anita Sarkeesian article talking about a bomb threat that happened 6 months ago, with Stephen Totilo trying to defend it, saying, "No, I've been working on this since Friday," and it just I happened to post it 5 minutes after evidence of us colluding with each other and putting out bullshit narratives came out. Golf clap, Stephen. That is brilliant. You don't look like the world's biggest fucking jackass right now. Somebody just put out evidence that you people are working behind the scenes to fuck with your consumer base and lie to us and collude and do all this other dirty shit. And you do exactly what that very article is talking about. But no, that's just coincidental timing. Fuck Kotaku. Yeah, at this point, parent companies need to start getting involved. Gawker Media needs to start getting involved. Vox Media needs to start getting involved. Because these lower level employees, these middle management people, are completely fucking the brands up. So I would love to hear the official company position on this. I want to know what Nick Denton thinks, the owner or runner, co-founder, or whatever the fuck he calls himself today, of Gawker Media. I want to know what he thinks of this kind of shit. I want his official stance on it. Because it's just ridiculous. Now, I know I just wanted to address the Breitbart thing first. Now I know over the last 4 weeks, things have been confusing. A lot of shit's happened. Lots of different little details have come out, and people are feeling a bit, I don't know, lost, or they don't know exactly what to do, or they don't know if what they're doing is even effective. Is emailing or writing letters to advertisers, is that working? Is boycotting these different sites, is that doing anything? Is confronting these people on Twitter and on different forums, is that accomplishing anything? It's this sensation of doubt. What you've got to understand in the situation that we're all in right now is that it is a protracted PR battle. You are fighting against titans. These companies, these groups of individuals, these connected individuals, have money, have connections, have prestige, they have reputations, and they have contacts. And they're going to take every opportunity they can to shit on you. It's black PR, it's old hat. If you can't just simply ignore something, you've got to do your best to try to destroy it. And that's really what you've been seeing the last couple of weeks. And I think that's what's leading to a sense of confusion. People don't know what to do because they are targeting you. So you've got, all these articles, gamers are dead. You've got all these people, these reporters on Twitter just talking and being smug and acting like nothing can happen to them. And they're controlling the narrative, and you can't do shit. And then you see things like Reddit constantly shadow banning people and shutting down threads. And now you've got 4chan doing the same thing. You can't talk about this on V, on Poll, on pretty much any board, it will get deleted. I mean, there people have been saying it's even getting deleted on B, which is the fucking random board, which there's no reason for it to be getting deleted there. And so it just seems like this overwhelming push just to tell us to fuck off and just walk away. I mean, that's a message a lot of people, kind of observers on the sidelines have been saying. Like David Jaffe, for instance, is saying, I don't see a big deal here. I don't think this is a big issue. I'm in game development. I know people in the indie scene, and I've never met anybody that's had a problem with it. But we know that's not true. We've had developers come forward. We've had journalists come forward. Go look at Sawyer's video on YouTube. The guy's having a fucking breakdown over this shit, talking about his experiences doing this for the last 7 years has broken him, and his career is sunk. So think of stuff like that when you hear people like Jaffe saying this isn't a big deal and just ignore it. I think one of the things a lot of people need to do is face the reality of the numbers when we're looking at this. If you were to take Kotaku and Polygon and combine them for their traffic per month, I believe when I looked it up, it's around 22 million visits a month. That's a lot of people coming through those two sites combined. And again, that includes the subsites, subdomains, whatever, of Kotaku and Polygon, but 21 to 22 million people per month, visitors. So you've got a lot of people going to these sites, and they're getting a good amount of money. So, when I hear people like Jaffe say, well, I don't think this is a big deal, I look at it differently. I see websites like Kotaku and Polygon and Rock Paper Shotgun and these others that have been highlighted repeatedly, are Ars Technica, and I look at the amount of traffic they're getting to come to them. And I ask myself, if I were an indie dev, or if I were somebody that saw something in the industry I didn't like or I thought was wrong, and I went to these people to try to get them to report on it, it could reach, potentially millions of people. But if they decide to smear me, if I'm not part of their in-click, they could kill my career right there. 30, 40, 50 million people per month. One article on each of those sites is enough to kill my career. It's enough to end any chance I've got at getting looked at. I remember talking to Jaffe on his video that he released, and he was saying, well, look at the unique examples. You've got Minecraft, you've got other games that have come up, and they didn't need to rely on the media. Well, yeah, there's always going to be an outlier. You're always going to have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 darling cases where people viral the game themselves, or it becomes a phenomenon on YouTube. But that isn't the reality for most indie devs. And I think a lot of people have started to kind of see what's going on. It's just, this situation is disgusting. You've got development and journalists, and they are basically doing anything they can to make money and to shit on anybody that tries to stop them. So there's so many issues going on, and I've been hearing people talk about what are we going to do, or what should we do. Yeah, what's the point, or what's tomorrow going to be like? And again, there are a few things I want you to keep in mind going forward. One, they set the narrative. This group of people that we're dealing with have set the narrative. They have declared that we're all horrible human beings. They've told everybody this. We're all cis male oppressors, we're misogynerds, we're pieces of human shit. Leigh Alexander and the Totillos and all those people they have put that message out there. Now, normally in any other situation, that would be the end. We'd be fucked. But it's different in this circumstance. See, we've already been painted as the horrible people. So, people from the sidelines, uninformed people coming in, don't expect anything good of us. We're horrible people, remember. We've already been branded that. So every time we do something that exposes them, or we, support another dev, or we do a charity thing, it fucks that narrative up. It makes us look good. We're the bad guys, and we're looking good. That makes people start to pay attention. Well, what's really going on here? But even more so, they've painted themselves as the respectable individuals. They're the people with a career, and they do the right thing, and they're ethical, and there's nothing going on here. So every time you start to dig up through their past and you're seeing all the shit that they're doing, it's another chink in the armor. They can't just explain it away. And so you need to remember that moving forward. They set the narrative, but it works in our favor. As pieces of shit, we've got nothing to lose. If we do something bad, it's expected. But if we do something good, they can't explain it. Where, the reverse of that is they're expected to be good. So every time they fuck up, it's a big fuck up, even if it's a tiny thing. But if they do something great, well, that's expected. It's not a big deal. They've boxed themselves in with that, and I don't think they really realize it just yet. So this GamerGate thing is weird, right? You've got people from really every different kind of perspective. We're a mishmash of fucking bizarre ideologies, really. You've got academic feminists, you've got right-wingers, you've got liberals, you've got anarchists and communists, socialists and capitalists. You've got people that are in their 20s and 30s, you've got teenagers, you've got old people. You have men and women, every fucking gender, and all this shit in between. It's not a normal group. It really is bizarre when you look at it. What would bring all these people together, right? They all have different goals, it would seem. And yet, we're all attracted to the same issue. And it seems that we all focus on that very same issue. It's these people are corrupt, and the shit they're doing is wrong. So when I hear somebody say something like, well, who cares, it's just unethical, journalism, welcome to the real world. When I had done that video on Dina with Mighty Number 9 with Concept, right? People had said, oh, it's just nepotism. That's how the world works. Fuck that noise. Don't tell me that you're fine with that shit. If you're saying that unethical behavior is fine, then you're telling me that you just don't give a shit about ethics in the first place. So why would I even listen to your opinion? What would your opinion matter on this issue? You don't value ethics in the first place, so your input onto whether or not they're ethical in the first place doesn't really seem to fit, doesn't seem to matter. So I'm sorry if I'm rambling. It's a fucking Sudafed. It's screwing with my head and all the other medicines. But so we have a diverse group of people. They've all got different goals. They're all good at different things, right? And I've noticed that a lot of people are trying to moderate how everybody behaves, or they're worried. And then there's another group that's worried that this is going to turn into some, clusterfuck like Occupy Wall Street was. That in 2 weeks we're going to have somebody named Ketchup going on the Colbert Report to talk about GamerGate or some disastrous fucking thing like that. Again, you need to realize that regardless of our different approaches, we have nothing to lose here. Absolutely fucking nothing to lose. They do. We don't. We've got people taking all sorts of different approaches, and that's really what I wanted to focus on. Like I said, I'd seen a lot of different people doing or talking about interesting things. Now, I know a lot of you out there have really great talents. You can do a lot of interesting shit, but you just haven't really maybe had the opportunity or nobody's asked you to do it. One idea I saw that was brought up, I think it was in the Escapist thread, was somebody saying, God, it would be good to have a video recap each day of shit that's going on. Just something like a 1 or 2 minute summation, so that it was easy for people to just jump on that, read it, watch it, whatever, and know what the fuck is going on, so they don't get lost. Because information moves quickly, and people want to be informed. And if somebody is coming along and they want to see what's going on, you can point them to the newest video to talk about the most recent developments. It's that kind of stuff. And it doesn't need to be one specific person. I mean, fuck, if 20 of you want to go out and do it, do it. Whoever's the best one at doing it will attract the most attention. People also need to realize that even with the amount of, I guess, censorship or suppression that's going on right now on different sites like Reddit or 4chan, there are places that let you talk. There are alternatives to 4chan. There are alternatives to Reddit. You can go on social media like Twitter or Facebook if you want. You can go to the Escapist thread. There are other gaming forums that are talking about this. You can go on a fucking funny junk if that's really where you want to go. But we need, I think, to be able to share information more quickly and more cohesively with one another. And I think one of the more important places to start is we've had a lot of devs on Twitter talking about stuff that's going on. And the thing is, it's a fucking lonely position. When you're the journalist or the developer that comes out and says something, you're up shit creek. And it feels lonely. You're going to get, separated from all your colleagues and friends when you're the guy going against the grain. And one of the remedies to that is not, you don't have to run out and buy their fucking game or, kiss their ass even. But it's basic communication. It's saying, hey, I'm here. I see what you're doing. Don't worry about it. Fucking send them a tweet. Who gives a shit? Favorite the shit they're talking about. Retweet it if it's something important. With the GamerGate tag, we see people constantly pumping stuff out, and that's great. People are talking about it all the time, and it's pushing that out more and more, so more people are paying attention. But when you see something that's got a screen capper, an infograph, or it's got a link to a new article, or it's some amazing piece of information, try to retweet it. Focus on that. Make it big so more people pay attention. It's really just combining efforts and coordinating to do stuff. A lot of what we're seeing right now with how prolonged this is, and people are thinking things like, well, shit, we're pulling advertisers off, we're blacklisting their sites, what do we do next? How do we know we've won? The longer this goes on, right, the bigger schism, I guess, in the market you're going to see. And that's good for us, because what it means is eventually somebody's going to come along and they're going to say, look at all these gaming journalism sites, or look at Reddit or look at 4chan. All the people are saying they want to talk about this, or they want to discuss it, or they want gaming journalism ethics, or whatever the fuck it is they want. They're gonna look at all this market demand, all these people constantly talking about this, and they're gonna get interested, and they're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna offer an alternative to these other places. If you want to stop these people, especially the sites like Kotaku and stuff, it's not enough just to advertise, contact their advertisers. I do agree that's a great idea. Fucking email them. Write personalized emails. Send them actual letters. Paper letters have more impact, believe it or not, than emails do. That's just shit they don't expect. So when they start getting flooded by that, it has a fucking impact. It really, really does. So, I mean, if that's the route you want to go, if you want to blanket the advertisers, fucking go for it. But what we're doing right now is creating, like I said, a schism in the market. But if we want to stop them, it has to be more than just blacklisting them and ignoring them. It has to be more than just simply talking to advertisers to say these aren't people you want to be associated with. We have to hurt their numbers. You have to siphon off the traffic they get. And as you siphon off the traffic, those advertisers that are hesitant will begin to leave. Now, one of the ways of doing that is promoting new gaming sites that come out, or promoting ones that are more ethical. You need to redirect the traffic and get people to go to different places. When Kotaku puts an article out and somebody's talking about it, say, fuck that, check out this one on GameNosh, or check out The Escapist, or check out TechRaptor, or a host of other fucking sites that are available. You need to redirect their interest. You need to make these sites that are around not appealing anymore. In regards to the censorship thing, I mean, I know a lot of people are pissed about that, shadow banning and threads getting cut, and mods banning people left and right. Innovation. Innovate. Find a way around it. I mean, my God, you have browsers that allow you to develop fucking add-ons for them. Go make an add-on. Make a fucking add-on that has a chat program or a fucking comment program built into it. So when you go to a website or you go to an article, you chat through that. It's fucking stored through the site server. Who gives a shit? Then you can comment anywhere. It doesn't matter if the fucking people are banning shit or if they're closing comment sections. It's hosted through the goddamn fucking add-on. You need to think outside the box and ways of attacking these sorts of issues. Now, we're starting to see pickup. I know it feels like this shit has dragged on forever, and I know people are thinking it's losing momentum, but again, Breitbart just dropped a hell of an article. You've got fucking WikiLeaks talking about this. Joe Rogan is starting to show interest. More people are starting to pay attention because this is so long. They've tried everything they can do. Every single dirty PR trick that's in the book, they have fucking thrown at you, and nothing is working. Everything they've tried has absolutely failed. That's never happened before. I know it feels like you're not accomplishing much, but you have to understand, if this had happened in any other circumstances, whether it was Occupy Wall Street or politics or business or law, it doesn't matter. If the amount of shit that has been flung at you was flung in any of those other arenas, it would have been over in week one. You have weathered that. They tried outright attacks, censorship, silence. Nothing has worked. And believe me, they are pissed off about it. So my suggestion, going forward, like I said, divide your labors up. You don't have to moderate each other. Listen, if you've got a group of people that want to dig into, connections with, Silverstring Media, let them go do it. Work with each other. Find other people that want to do it. Divide the fucking labor up so it's more effective. Have people put video summaries out there and article summaries out there giving a chronology. There are sites. I mean, fucking Know Your Meme, for Christ's sake, has one of the better repositories of shit that's happened for fucking, I don't know why that is, but they do. Encyclopedia Dramatica has a ton of information up on it. There are places that you can go to start to get a chronology and put together a timeline for the uninitiated, for people that are curious about what's going on. But divide up that labor. Have a group of people that are good at writing and contact advertisers. Have a group of people that are good at writing and speaking and doing videos, do the summaries. Have people that are good at investigating things, do that, and learn where these conversations are taking place that haven't been censored. Again, whatever your opinion of The Escapist is, their forum has had a massive thread on this, and they've got a second thread going on it. They will let you talk there. It's not 4chan, it's not Reddit. They're not going to let you fling shit and act like an asshole, but they'll let you talk about it. So if you find something and you want a lot of people to read about it, that would be one of the places I would suggest going. If you've got something big, put it on social media. Twitter's great. Facebook is great. I hate social media myself, but if you want a lot of people to look at a fucking piece of information you've got, that's where you got to do it. If you're good at arguing with these idiots and making them look stupid, more power to you. Go ahead and do it. You need to use your unique talents, your abilities, in the best way that you know how to use them. And then you need to share the information, the fruits of that labor with the rest of us, so we know what the fuck is going on. You need to start sharing information better. You need to find the sites that are good, compile a fucking list where you can talk about this openly, where the actual site owners say, we will let you talk about this, we're not going to ban you. And share that list at all those sites so people can mingle and go between them. Again, you've got to innovate, you've got to think outside the box, you've got to start dividing up the labor and approaching this for the long haul. Because again, Like I said, this has never worked before. What you're seeing right now has never worked before. They've attacked you as best they can. But you've got this one fucking shot, and I really want to make that clear. This is your one shot to take care of this issue. If we fuck this up, it's never coming again. When you look at something again like Occupy Wall Street, when it first started, it caught the financial sector and the government with their pants down. They didn't know how to react to it. You know, social media was spreading it and people were showing up all over the place. They had no idea what the fuck was going on. They got lucky that it imploded. And I'll tell you this, that's never going to happen again. There's not going to be a second Occupy Wall Street because all those people in the financial sector and the government that Occupy Wall Street was angry at now know exactly how they're going to fight. So they're going to shut them down on Twitter. They're going to shut them down on social media. They're going to shut that shit down before it even gets off the ground. We are in a similar situation. We caught them with their pants down. Zoe Quinn and the initial story that started this, the catalyst moment, sparked a lot of interest, and it caught them with their pants down. And we've got this one shot to make it work. If we fuck this up, gaming is not going to be in a great state. They are going to feel like they have the authority to be 100 times worse than they are right now. We need to nail their asses to the wall. And one of the ways of doing that, and again, it's a minor suggestion, is start bringing other people into the conversation. You know, there was that really great interview, was it Greg Lisby? I'm not sure. That was posted a while ago. He was a ethics professor and a law professor, where he was interviewed and he was asked, you know, in this situation, it wasn't specifically talking about game journalism, but it brought up what's been happening. You know, would you pay a source? Would you have sex with a source? How friendly would you be? Would you live with a source? Lisby said, I mean, he went down the list and he said, unethical, 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 unethical. No, absolutely fucking not. We need to start bringing in people who have that kind of position. People that are familiar with the law and are familiar with journalism, different news sites, and you need to ask them point blank. Don't specifically address it if you don't want to, but ask them, would you have sex with a source? Would you live with a source? Would you financially support a source? Get them to go on the record about that, because it will make these gaming news sites look like shit. These people want to pretend they're journalists. Start to get the opinion of actual journalists. Start to bring them in on it. Start asking other people about it. Get a fucking quote, get an interview, and spread it around. It makes them look dumb. Those are people that are in the same business they are, at the end of the day, journalism. And they're point blank saying, no, it's not acceptable to do what you do, and you shouldn't be doing it. That would be my suggestion. Now I'm going to take a... Holy shit, am I sick? I'm going to take a break here and see what people are saying in the chat, if anybody's even in there. All right. All right, so let's see what you guys have to say. Well, people are talking about rating. It's always fun. Gaming Nerd QQ. It's great. It's good stuff. Good times. Okay, let's see if there's any questions on Twitter here. Let's see. If you've got a specific question, if you've got an idea, now's the time to throw it out. I mean, there are what, about 4,000 people watching this right now? I don't know how many people are commenting. But this would be the time to share an idea if you have it. That's 4,000 people that I'll echo it back to, and they can tell you what they think. People want to talk about Cracked? I'm talking about the website? I said to somebody earlier who sent me the link to, I guess you're talking about the blog post by Zoe on Cracked, or are you talking about the first one they put up? Either way, it doesn't really matter. I promised myself I'd never go back to Cracked again until they were funny, and I don't plan on breaking a 4-year streak that easily. What would I recommend to indie developers in this situation? That's a great fucking question. There are people out there right now that are asking you to come forward. Listen, if you're an indie developer, if you're if you're a AAA developer, for fuck's sake, if you're a journalist that's sick of this shit, there are people out there, and I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about people out there that are more respectable than I am, that want to help you, that want to hear your side of the story, and will work with you. I know everybody's already talked about Archon. I mean, people have talked about The Escapist, and they've talked about really how they've gone to bat over this. That would be one of the people I'd recommend. Was it Niche Gamers was also talking about this? Let me see if I can find this. There's a little infographic that was posted before. See if we can find it. It had some information on it. I thought it was good, so I retweeted it. Let's see. We need game devs, artists to come forward anonymously to, if that's what it takes. All right. Okay, so contact at the Niche Gamer or at Archon. That's at THENICHEGAMER or at ARCHON. Again, those would be people I would go to. If you have information, if you're getting pressure, if people are shit kicking you because you want to talk about this, if you want to share your opinion, if you've known that this kind of shit's going on and you're just fucking tired of it, go to those people. They'll listen to you. They'll keep your anonymity. You can trust them. And so yeah, that was a good question. Whoever the fuck asked that, because I went by so quick I couldn't even check on it. Yes, Thunderfoot got banned from Twitter, which was bullshit. You already put up a video about it. Isn't that, God, again, this is so fucking weird, but like I said, you've got all these different groups that are involved in this. You've got a lot of atheists that really have come out to talk about this shit. And, you know, I've said before, putting the fedora jokes aside, they know. They went through shit like this. They understand what's going on. I mean, they really honestly fucking get it. That's why they talk about it. That's why you got people like Thunderfoot and Justicar and all these other people coming out and talking about it. They fucking understand. So when you see somebody like, again, you've got to be willing to back each other up. I get it. We all have different fucking ideologies. If you put us in a room at the end of the day when this shit's said and done with, we'd probably yell at each other for hours because we have different fucking beliefs in politics and sex and everything. We'd probably disagree till the fucking cows come home. It doesn't matter, though. Because right now, those disagreements don't mean shit. They're out of the picture. We're dealing with something bigger than all of that, and we're focusing on one issue. So when you see stuff like that, right, Thunderfoot, for example, gets his Twitter fucking taken out from him, talk about it. Go fucking talk to Twitter about it. I mean, you may not like atheists. You may find Thunderfoot disagreeable. You may not like his videos. Who gives a shit? Again, he's one of the people that's speaking out against it, just like you, just like me, just like all of us. And so they're going to try to pick off people one by one all over the place. Don't let them. Speaking of that, you know, I know you got to understand too. There are a lot of people trolling right now and just fucking about on Twitter, and it's funny, you know, to them. They don't give a shit. So before you get engaged in some 18-page dialogue with somebody who throws misogynist at you, go look at their fucking profile first. And if you see like 40 fucking random comments, maybe not engage them. There's no fucking point in doing that. You're going to get shit flung at you. You don't have to respond to all of it. You're going to save yourself a lot of fucking hassle in the end. Check my Twitter. All right. Actually, it's probably easier to do it this way. All right, let's see what happens. How influential at this point do you think it'd be for GamerGate to get a hold of the blacklist? I don't know. Again, you guys are going to have to forgive me. Like I said, I'm really legitimately sick of shit. But I just felt bad. Like I said, there's so many people that seem to be confused and lost. And again, you shouldn't feel down. We are kicking their ass. It just so happens they've got more shit in the arsenal. They've got more money and connections, so it doesn't feel like it. But we are kicking their ass. There's nothing to feel down about. I mean, yes, it's been 4 weeks. It could be another 4 weeks. Who fucking knows? But look at where we are now. We've established that they've had sexual relationships. I mean, even if you want to take Totillo's word for it with the Grayson and Quinn thing, right, and say that the relationship happened after the article was written, they're still admitting to it. You've got people admitting they lived together and had economic situations together with each other, like Patricia Hernandez and her roommates and landlord situation, writing about fucking people again. You've got all these people donating money on a monthly basis through Patreon. They've all admitted it. They've all talked about it. Now we've got shit like fucking private groups where they're talking about coming together to put forward a narrative. I mean, shit just keeps coming out. The longer you hold on, the more information that will come out. They're going to crack, and it will happen sooner than later. It's going to wear on them. They're not used to having people up in their shit this much for this long a period of time. That's why they get so fucking hostile on Twitter. That's why they're so smug in their articles. So, I mean, going back to what I was talking about earlier, throw everything you got at them. Fucking write emails, talk to their advertisers, blacklist their fucking sites, bring in people from the outside, get them to comment on it from a purely legal or ethical standpoint in the profession of journalism or law. Who gives a shit? Get it a quote, get a fucking quote, and throw it at these assholes, and let's see them try to fucking, hand wave that away. Let's see what else we got here. Please discuss a direct attack plan. We need to focus on a target. But you don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't need somebody to come along and tell you all, yeah, you're gonna attack this point here. You really don't. The amount of success we've had is is due in part, honestly, to the fact that there's no fucking leadership. There's so many people doing so many different things that have provided a lot of information. If you start trying to direct people and say, everybody do this at once, you're pulling all those people that have found information in various other ways off of what they're doing and putting them on something that might not yield any results. So, I mean, a direct attack plan I couldn't give you. And if I had one, I wouldn't, because it's not my place. I'm just an asshole in the crowd like you. There's nobody running any of this, least of all me. What is your opinion on the leaked email collusion between journalists and the stance on Zoe on, yeah, we do that and what? My stance on that is people should be fired. Absolutely. The people in that list, the people talking about that, should be gone from those fucking sites. There's just no other way around it. Every single person, fucking gone. Let them go get a job at, fucking Dairy Queen. I don't care. They shouldn't be journalists. Arini says, if they have less than 100 followers on Twitter and a fake name, they're just a troll, block them. Again, that's kind of going back to what I was saying. If you're going to engage people and have long conversations, at least make it worth your while. You're going to have a lot of people fucking with you. We know there are a lot of people doing that unintentionally. There's no point in wasting your time on it. How do we stop the Digra narrative being pushed forward? Nobody seems to listen to us. Who do we speak to? You're talking about the Digra, was it the Google group thing that Archon had talked about? I thought that was an interesting video. Or are you talking about the whole DARPA Digra thing? So I put out a fucking tweet mocking DARPA for giving funding to a group like that, because the guy that's the head of Project Immerse, was at UC Berkeley or whatever, who happens to be the guy, I think, who designed Facade. If you've ever played that game, you'd know him. He's given keynote speeches at Digra events, and he's done research for Digra. So the guy running Immerse, who's getting DARPA funding from the government, is connected to Digra, the same group that mocks peer review in their private conversations. That's why I tweeted DARPA and made fun of them. Because if it's my fucking tax dollars going there, I don't want a bunch of asshats that think peer review is a joke and, want to mismanage tax money. Fuck that shit. All right. How far will the rabbit hole go? I have no fucking clue. It's ridiculous, right? How deep does this shit go? Because really, what was the story when it started? It was Nathan Grayson and Zoe Quinn and Robert Arnott, and some favors for press. And then we started finding out about money relationships. Then we found out about other reporters doing shit. Then we had sites scrambling. Then we had a all-out narrative attack from all these different fucking journalism sites. Then people were going outside to places like The Guardian and writing shit, and then supposedly getting fired, maybe not. And, nobody's giving an official position on that. Now you've got Google groups where they're all colluding with one another. Are you fucking kidding me? This just doesn't stop. That's why I'm saying it's great. The longer it goes on, the deeper it goes. And the more connections get found. And believe me, eventually it's going to reach the point where there's going to be so much shit that is dragged out into the open that nobody's going to support them. I'm sure marketing people, I'm sure advertisers probably know what's going on. And they probably got some kind of a calculation that they put forward based on how much shit gets flung and how many revelations come to light and how much money they can afford to spend and be connected with these sorts of people. You just got to hold on, because eventually it's going to become too much shit, and they're just not going to want to be associated with these sites. Who would want to be? Why would Amazon want to be associated with people like this, or Newegg, or fucking Nvidia, or any of these companies, why would they want to advertise on any of these sites, looking at how they behave, how they treat their customers, how they deride them and mock them? Again, we're the pieces of shit, remember? That's the story they put out. They're the great, respectable people. So when they throw tantrums on Twitter and write their shitty articles, when they blog, because they're really not journalists at this point, I think we've all come to the conclusion, you might as well wipe your ass with the master's degree, Stephen. You're fucking not a journalist. Nobody thinks you are at this point. And they behave like fucking tantruming children. So what company wants to be associated with that? It's going to start affecting the brands that are associated with them. When that happens, it's going to be bad news for all of them. Will you continue making conspiracy videos? I'm going to do one final one. I personally, I thought I was done with 3. I have one other idea, and I'm going to put it out in detail, and then you guys can decide what you want to do with it. It's up to you. It's not something I can personally do. I don't have the time or really the ability to do it. So it's an idea I'm going to put forward. I think it would hurt these sites, and I think it would be good for everybody else. It's a different approach, really, to dealing with this. But I'm going to put the video out, talk about what's happened, put the idea out there, and then you guys can decide who you want me to hand it off to, and it's theirs, and they can do whatever they want with it. You'll understand more when I put it up, but it'll probably be in a week. What do you think about the recent attacks on objectivity and its connection to cultural Marxism and SJW narratives? Well, I've seen people like, what is it, Jason Schreier at Kotaku talking about how objectivity isn't important. What fucking college did you graduate from? Are you kidding me? Or people saying that you can never be 100% objective. Of course you fucking can't. Human beings are fallible, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't fucking try. Holy fucking shit. I mean, what kind of attitude is that? We're fucking gamers. I mean, yeah, I can't 100% every fucking game out there, but I can try to. Like what? I don't understand that mentality. If you're playing a sport, it'd be like saying, well, shit, I can't putt from this distance. I can't kick that field goal. I'm not going to be able to hit a home run, so I'm not going to fucking try at all. Well, then go sit on the fucking bench and get out of the game. You fucking hack. Schreier, what are you talking about? Objectivity isn't important. You're fucking pretending to be a journalist. You should at least pretend to believe in the shit they believe in, and objectivity is fucking one of them. Ridiculous. As for SJW and cultural Marxism, listen, I know we all have our terms that we like to use for what we're fighting against and the sorts of people that we're talking about. It's a rose by any other name. You know what I mean? We know what we're dealing with. We know the personality type we're dealing with and what these people are trying to do. Everybody understands that at this point. It's, again, social justice warriors aren't activists. Listen, I get it, man. You've got shit you care about. I know there are a lot of people that have got a lot of fucking shit they believe in, right? And we all wouldn't get along. But at the end of the day, none of us are saying if you believe in something and you want to fucking go fight the good fight and make the world a better place that you're an asshole for wanting that. Because that's a genuine feeling. But social justice warriors, they're not fucking interested in that. They're egocentric people that are looking to fuck with groups and make money and profiteer off it. That's what they are. They're scum, and they will destroy anything they touch. It's unbelievable. And when you hear how these people talk to each other and the shit they do, have you seen the insults these people use? Piss baby and fucking shitlord? It's like something you'd hear in kindergarten. What the fuck are they talking about? It makes them sound like fucking toddlers. It's the most ridiculous shit. You can tell who they are by listening to the shit they say. I mean, it's so fucking obvious. That goes, again, back to fucking social media. Really, if you start hearing those words, fucking tune it out. There's no point in even engaging them. Why do we need game journalism? This is a good question. It's a fair question. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why wouldn't you need it? I mean, that seems pretty simple. When you've got, how many gamers are there? Let's talk about politics for a second, just for the fuck of it. So, one of my contentions is that there are, social justice warriors putting out bullshit narratives, and they're using games media to do it. And you say, well, who cares? It's just game journalism. What does it matter? Or why does game journalism matter? How big of a demographic do you think gamers are? You'd probably be surprised. There are fucking a lot of them. And a lot of gamers are of voting age. So if you have people controlling gaming websites, that are putting out political messages, their social justice bullshit, they're starting to sway a voting demographic. So, again, that's why it needs to be addressed. But as to why game journalism itself needs to exist, I want to hear what the developers have to say. I want people to go and interview them. I want to know about new games that are coming out and new hardware that's coming out. I want somebody to be able to take a press statement and expand on it and say, Nintendo or Sony or whatever released a statement today about whatever the product is and compare it to other shit they've done in the past. It's basic reporting. Why, it serves a purpose. And it should be fair and reasonable and objective. As best as it can be, it should be objective. And these fucking editorial and op-ed pieces, if they're going to exist, had better really have some ethical guidelines behind them, because the shit that's going on is just fucking unacceptable. And besides, there's a demand for it. There's a market for it. People want it, so they should get it. How do you feel about V censoring the GamerGate threads, saying it isn't video? I'd say there's probably more going on to that. I don't know what it is. I don't know. There are pictures floating around of Moot talking to the VP of Gawker. He was at the XOXO speech with Anita Sarkeesian. But at the same time, I have to balance that out with statements I've heard him give before at different conventions. You remember when, what the hell was her name? Sherrod DeGrepo, whatever the fuck it is. The old owner of Encyclopedia Dramatica shut it down, essentially, and moved shop to a new site. He was at some place that she was talking about this shit, and he asked her if she felt that was fair to do to her user base. I mean, when you listen to him talk, you really get a vibe that he's not a completely apathetic asshole. So it's hard for me to believe that he would be somebody saying, no, you can't talk about any of this. But again, at the same time, it just doesn't look good. But it is video. We're talking about corruption in the goddamn gaming industry, in the gaming press, in the indie dev community. This is going to affect what games get press, what games don't get press, what games do well, what games don't do well. It's very much video. It's about as video can get. Let's see. You don't have as many followers as insert or enter celebrity here. You're literally shit and aren't worth it. Bye. I don't care. I mean, it doesn't really bother me. Let's see. A bastion of constitutional rights. 8chan is the American Dream, the website. I don't know. I haven't been there before. Again, see, that's the thing I'm talking about. I don't know. Is that a good site to go to? Will they let us talk about this? If they're going to, then, again, I know people out there, I know some of you are fucking good at compiling this shit. Get a list together and fucking spread it to all these other websites, so at least we know where the fuck we can talk about it and regroup. God, my throat is killing me. So I'm just reading through some questions. So people are getting banned for talking to ban evaders? I don't know, it's crazy. You can't censor. What's the point? It's just going to piss people off. Here would be my suggestion. I mean, if people were saying shit like, put a sticky up, right? Put a sticky up. Let them all go fucking talking that, and then you don't got to deal with it. If it's really pissing you off, if there are too many threads all over the place, put a fucking sticky up and let them have it, and that'll be the end of it. I mean, fuck. Moot had a cue board where people could go and bitch about whatever the fuck they wanted to bitch at. Why not have some board for a fucking situation like this? If you have some big subject that multiple boards are talking about at a constant, consistent rate, have one board where it's fucking closed. All the other, that essentially is closed at every other time. But when a situation like this happens, it opens up and people can go there. Then you don't have it shitting up all the other boards, if that's your real concern. You've got one place they all funnel in, and it's not a fucking issue anymore. That would be my suggestion. And yes, I do know they do it for free and Hot Pockets. A very delicious snack. Germany got banned? It sucks for Germany. Yeah, I saw that on Twitter earlier. What do I think of Forbes' most recent article? I couldn't tell you. I actually haven't. I haven't read it. I haven't had a chance to read it, so I don't even know at this point what the most recent article is like. Yes, dude, tell Mood how to do his job. Well, somebody fucking should at this point. Just a suggestion. Like I said, I don't know what his reasons are, but let's stop playing, fuck about. Yeah, he went to a convention. It doesn't mean the internet doesn't work where he is. He fucking knows what's going on. He's got a phone or a tablet or some other shit. He knows what's going on. I mean, if it's his opinion he doesn't want it on his site, at least just fucking say so and be done with it. There's no point in not addressing it. It doesn't make any sense unless you're just ducking it. All right, I'm just trying to find shit. Like I said, if you got an idea, put it out. Might as well fucking talk about it. Is it bad that you bought Hot Pockets for dinner? No, they are delicious. They're scalding fucking hot or ice cold. I mean, you can never get them to be just right, but pretty good. Okay. Do you think we should try to get them to disclose all people involved in the Google group? From what I understand, Breitbart has a lot more information than they've released. So, you know, go. This would be another suggestion. I know some of you are really good at digging through shit, and you're good at finding accounts, and you've got the autism to sit there and read through 40,000 posts. These people are really lazy, and they're really fucking arrogant. So start creating, go through their fucking social media accounts. That's public information. They're the ones broadcasting this shit everywhere. Read through it, see what they're saying, and start making connections. This person's talking to this person at this time in regards to this. Fucking start compiling this shit and screen cap the fuck out of it because they're going to delete it the moment you bring it up. Leigh Alexander's a great example of that. The moment she gets called out on her bullshit, she starts deleting stuff to try to act like it never existed. Patricia Hernandez did a similar thing. Do I think new companies can come through and dethrone the ones that exist right now? Of course. Again, they're internet companies. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what Gawker or Vox is, and all the other ones that are involved in it. I mean, yeah, they've got office spaces and shit, but their product is on the internet. So, yeah, new people can come up and kick their ass all over the place. Look at Zuckerberg with Facebook. I'm sure, people at MySpace were having a good fucking laugh about that before it came and stomped their shit in. The internet moves quickly. If you don't address your customers' needs, you are going to be in a bad position. And everybody associated with you is going to suffer for it. So they can be arrogant and smug all they want. Somebody's going to dethrone them eventually. I don't know what their approach is going to be. I don't know, what unique or innovative thing they're going to do, but it'll happen. Holy shit, man. Sorry. Nothing better for a sore throat than a fucking cigarette. Some have suggested we email one advertiser at a time as a group rather than email all of them independently. What do you think of that? That would be a great idea. Again, if you're inclined to email or write to people, doing it in bulk will have a bigger effect. I mean, yes, eventually they'll all see them, but if you're the guy walking into the fucking office one day and you've got 20 emails sitting there, you're not going to think much of it. And if that happens every day for a week, you're not going to think much of it. But if you walk into your office one day and you've got 5,000 fucking emails in your inbox, all talking about the same thing, you're going to start to worry a little bit. Again, that's where that coordination comes in. You need to find sites where you can talk. You need to make a list of those sites. And then you need to find out what you're good at and start talking to people that are good at that thing as well and come up with a plan. You don't need to dictate to each other that everybody must do this. But there are a lot of people that want to do a lot of different things. So you might as well band together and do them together and make it more effective. Yes, I think if you hit an advertiser with a shit ton of emails at once or letters at once, it will have a fucking big impact. Once again, you need to tell people about the new video game journalism sources that are springing up from AM. Make me a list. Somebody post a list on Twitter. Give me the name of the sites that are popping up that people think are worthwhile. If you want me to tell them, I got what's in the stream? 4,700 people. It's 4,700 people that'll have a new fucking website to look at. So somebody put a list out, and I'll talk about it. But I need names. You need to give me something. Drink some orange juice? Nah, that would be too simple. Somebody said I cut out. I don't know if I'm cutting out or not. I've got an indicator on the bottom of the Google screen thing that says it's coming through. Let's see. Why is Movie Bob garbage? This is a burning question. I've already talked about why I dislike him. Aside from all this shit, put that all aside. I don't like him because of the fucking thing he tried to do with the kid from England. He tried to get a fucking teenager arrested because he didn't like his fucking YouTube videos. Fuck Movie Bob. I don't even give a shit what his opinion on Gamergate is. Doesn't fucking matter one bit to me. He got so ass hurt on somebody's video on the internet he wanted them arrested. Fuck him. Whiny little bitch. Somebody said one of the sites is TechRaptor. Yeah, I've already mentioned that. TechRaptor, GamesNosh. Give me more. I know there are a lot of them out there. Again, this is when you've got information, right? You need to compile it and put it into a digestible chunk so you can share it with other people. So if you've got a list of all these new sites that have popped up, put it in an infograph or put it in an image so you can post it on those sites we were talking about earlier. Well, people, will let you talk about this shit. These guys need a shout out. Gamesnosh.com, GAMESNOSH.com. All right, somebody put this up. Good sites: 8chan, The Escapist Magazine, TechRaptor, new sites, goodgamers.us. I'll post more when I find them. Okay, post more when you find them. Let's see, somebody said goodgamers.us and evilavatar.com. All right, somebody gave me, oh, fuck this. There we go. Somebody gave me a picture that's made for ants, apparently. All right, so Gamenesia, Dual Shockers, Gather Your Party, Shack News, Hardcore Gamer, Tech Raptor, Ink Gamers, TSA, Indie, and there's Indie Juice? Wait. Oh yeah, no, Indie Juice, that would be right. Yeah, Evil Avatar, Blue News, Super Best Friends. Oh, these are YouTube ones too. Yeah, that's hard to see. I need the URL, yeah, the full URL so I don't send them to the wrong fucking site. Funnyjunk.com. Yeah, I mean, I know it's not a gaming site, but they will let you talk about this there. They're not going to fucking shit kick you or ban you. They'll let you talk about it there. It's another site to be aware of. If every other place suddenly shuts down, for whatever reason, Funny Junk will let you talk about this. 4chan refugee options, 8chan.co/burgers, 4chan.net, V, livechan.net, chat, and gamergate.community. That's from 3Lude5Me. It's a great name. It's good. Oh, what is this? Could you tweet this image out? It's sending sending emails to a few people at a time. Okay. So again, like I said, if you're into the emailing thing, if that's a good thing you can do, if you know how to create a great form letter to fucking write to a company to convince them as to why what they're doing is wrong, I would retweet this, I guess. And this is one person they recommend going for. GamerGate boycott goal of the day. So if that's something you're interested in and think will work, there you go. That's what place to start. I think this might be a lie. Somebody's telling me trusted sites, Kotaku, Polygon, Ars Technica, New Yorker, and Zoe Quinn's blog. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, let's see. You're very popular. Will you use this to your advantage or just continue doing what you're doing? If I was going to use this to my advantage, I would have turned on fucking ad revenue on the videos when they were doing a bunch of shit. In fact, what was it? Somebody was yelling at me, it was like a week ago, and linked me to, see if I can find this fucking site. Something called Social Blade, apparently, that gives you some kind of crazy fucking metric for the amount of money that you could potentially make off your YouTube channel if you monetized it. Right now it's saying estimated monthly earnings 1.2 thousand to $9,000, yearly earnings 14,000 to $116,000. So if I were going to take advantage of this, I would have taken advantage of it when the videos were blowing up to 800,000 fucking views. I have no interest in making money off of any of this shit or becoming popular. I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Uh, didn't you give me a list of sites that are still in our favor? It's for GamerGate. Oh, he's talking to somebody else. All right. If it helps any, our Kotaku in Action is about one of the only places on Reddit where we can talk without being banned or censored. I would. That may be very well true. I don't know. But in that leaked SoundCloud interview with a person that knew the ins and outs of Reddit, he talked about being really suspicious of shit like that. Not because the people that open or operate it are want to do bad things to you, but because they want to herd you into one place where you're not talking about it and it's picking up attention anywhere else. So, like I said, I can't advise you one way or another on that. I know Reddit's got some really weird shit going on, and if I were a Redditor, I'd be fucking pissed about it. Would you be okay with someone making a song about you and the rest of Gamergate? I A song about what? I made 3 videos. There's not really much to sing about. It's more like a little bit of a hum, and then it's over with. Oh, we got an image. Let's see. Ah, thank you. That's much more readable. All right, so if you're looking for an alternative game journalism site, this is a list that it's floating out there right now. GameNesia.com. Like I said, Dual Shockers, Gather Your Party, Gamer Headlines, Gamatsu. God, I can't. I'm too sick to try to pronounce half this shit. GamesNosh.com, Attack on Gaming, and fuck it, I'm going to retweet it because then I don't have to hyperbole this, if you get what I mean. Oh, fuck me, I just lost it. It was just there a second ago. Oh, well, yeah, I know you're not looking for a plug, but I'm going to mention it anyway. Revuelabs.com, REVUELABS.com. I know they're fucking annoyed with the shit that's going on, too. Yeah, I saw your video, Steve. It's fucked up what happened to you and having to deal with that shit. And I know a lot of people want to support you. Like I said, there are a lot of devs and people that have come forward, journalists too, that have dealt with this shit for a long fucking time. We're not going to leave you out in the cold. Different people will support you in different ways, but we will fucking do what we can to help. Can you please send all 4chan refugees to 8chan.co/v? I don't know. It's up to them. Go check it out. See if it's good. If it works. It got bigger. Oh, somebody added to the list. Didn't GamerHeadlines.com run that Phil Fish FBI story without checking the sources? I don't know if they did or not. They couldn't tell you. Besides, what happened to Phil Fish? Where the fuck is he? He sort of disappeared. Maybe the FBI have him in protective custody because people were throwing controllers at his fucking head for being such an enormous cunt on the internet. Is a revelation that senior gaming journals are collaborating the smoking gun Gamergate was looking for? No, but it's a major damning piece of information that it's definitely going to hurt them. No, the smoking gun would be if you can connect all this shit to a financial source. It's not just that they're colluding. I really do think money's at play somewhere in the background here. I don't know exactly how, but if it's a PR company, if it's a marketing company, somebody's fucking manipulating this. And it's for gain. I don't know what the gain is, but you just gotta fucking keep, you gotta keep digging. Just reading through some things here. See if anybody's got anything good. Okay, yeah, sorry about that. It got lost. Somebody said I would not recommend Gamenesia. Again, put together a list and then use the websites that are out there where you can talk about this sort of shit to go through and vet them. So at least people can air whatever grievances they have. Want to make sure you see this. Oh, is this the, yeah, I've seen the screen cap going around of the girl who attempted suicide was, what is it, Cassie Washington, niece of Nick Denton, and he's somehow putting pressure on Moot to shut this all down. I don't know. Somebody's probably fucking with you, man. I have no idea. Go ask Moot. I don't know where the fuck he is. See if he'll answer. We shouldn't throw all the PR we have done under the bus. Policing may be a must when we're dealing with so many different people. There are no musts. It's a collective. You don't dictate to a collective what they do. You can ask them. You can explain your position and say, hey, could you try not to, I don't know, hurl death threats at everybody? It's making our shit a little more difficult to do. But if you try to control the actions of everybody at the same time too tightly, it will implode, and it will suck. It'll be no different than the progressive stack at Occupy Wall Street, where they tried to control the input of everybody at the same time. I'm not disagreeing that, trying to create a PR narrative is a bad thing, but the progress you have seen has been because so many different people tried so many different approaches, and it just hit them from every direction, and they don't know how to respond. Don't play their game. They want you to play the game the way they play it. They expect you to behave in a certain way. The reason they're having such a hard time crushing this is because nobody's playing by their fucking rules. Don't let them trick you into thinking there is a right way to do this. There isn't a right way to do this because it hasn't been really done before. Do you think there are more groups out there like Digra? I don't know. That's a fantastic question. Again, people that are into research and digging through shit, look into it. There's no such thing as a bad lead. And who cares what they fucking think as to how that makes us look? Again, they've painted us all as crazy conspiracy, racist, sexist pieces of shit. Look what they did to Summers with her newest video. Have you seen the shit Polygon has printed about that video? You know, the factual feminist. And it was a fucking smear piece. And that's somebody that's fucking respectable as opposed to somebody like me. And they tried to just shit on her as much as they could. They're going to shit on all of us. So don't let it bother you. It's just their attempt. They're stomping their little feet and throwing a fucking tantrum like a toddler. Who gives a shit? Look into what you want to look into. You know, find what you can find. Again, I'm sure there are a lot of loose ends out there that these lazy, arrogant, dumb fucking people haven't thought to, clean up. They're just that fucking stupid. Oh, what is this? Is it true you were doxxed last week? No, it is not true. I was not doxxed last week. Yes. What was it? Somebody asked me this on Ask FM. I thought I was fucking being pretty obvious with my answer to that. Where was it? Give me a second here. This was the question. Is this true? Hello, everyone. My name is Jim, but you can call me James Albert Tristan. I was born in a town called Missoula, Montana, but I don't like to talk about that, so you probably shouldn't ask. I currently reside in Minnesota at 2 different residences. So that was the question. No, that's not me. I've seen what they're talking about, and no, those really aren't my docs. That was me fucking about. I'm the one who put that up there. They're going to an old fucking channel that I used to have. I put that up there because I was fucking around with people that were in a group that I was in at the time and having a laugh. They found something I put out there. Those fake docs are the ones that I put there in the first place. That's why I found it so fucking amusing. Let's see. Somebody's saying what is this on a picture? Oh, they're saying take Boogie out. You're talking about Boogie 2298 or whatever it was. Listen, I don't know what's going on with him. I can't tell you one way or the other. I don't know if he's just fucking about playing the middle to get attention or what's going on. But I do know this. He's got 2 million subs. So if he's saying that he's getting pressure, even if it's a minimal amount or a moderate amount, that's fucked up. I mean, he's just a YouTuber, right? He's just a guy with millions of people watching him. So if he can feel pressure from somebody saying, hey, you'd better fuck off because if you don't do this, we're going to make it uncomfortable for you, that should probably clue you into that he's got shit he's dealing with. I can't fault him for feeling intimidated by that. But I look at somebody like Tom, or not Tom, what is it? Oh, fuck. So many names. See if I can find this here. Yeah, okay. I look at somebody like Steve Sawyer, right? He doesn't have 2 million subs. He put a fucking video out talking about this shit, potentially jeopardizing a fucking future and the thing that he wants to do. He doesn't have a safety net at 2 million subs. You know how much? Do you know how big of a pair of balls you have to do or to do something like that? That's fucking respectable. That's admirable that he would do that. That he'd be willing to talk about it, even at the fucking risk of what he's risking. Are you kidding me? So as far as Boogie goes, I can't tell you one way or the other what's going on with that. I can't fault him for feeling intimidated. But there are a lot of smaller people than him that are dealing with more pressure, and they're doing it much better. Did you know that someone tried to dox you using fake information? Yeah, I already just talked about that. They were using information I put up a long time ago when I was goofing around with some people I know. Could you answer what actions can Polygon, Kotaku, and company do in order to save face? Yeah, I could tell you what those companies could do. Fire the editor-in-chief of each of the companies. Fire the employees that were responsible for ethical breaches. Patricia Hernandez would be one of the people that should go. Nathan Grayson should be somebody that should go. Stephen Totilo should be gone. Um, Jason Schreier, maybe, for his ridiculous stance on objectivity. Kirk Hamilton, I don't know. I don't know really what he's done in regards to all of this. I know that he was doing Patreon support, but I haven't really heard that he's done anything outside of that, so maybe just, slap him on the fucking hand and tell him don't be an idiot in the future. Polygon should definitely fire anybody that was fucking involved in those conversations. You've got people like Kuchera, who should be gone. Their editor-in-chief, Chris Grant, should be gone. Again, you're looking at a situation where either the people that are in charge of keeping track of their reporters are so inept at their fucking job that the reporters are doing shit that they shouldn't be doing, or those editor-in-chiefs are allowing it to happen. Either way, they should be gone. That would be the only way they're going to save face, as you're going to have to pretty much fire fucking everybody and start fresh. Good luck. NeoGAF is stabbing themselves with knives trying to swat mosquitoes. It's funny, but pitiful. Fuck NeoGAF. It's a giant echo chamber hug box. I feel bad for anybody that tries to bring up a counter argument there. It's not going to work. I know, from what I understand, it takes like a fucking year to get an account there. So I sympathize with you if you waited a fucking year to get an account and then you get banned after telling them they're idiots for not wanting to talk about ethics in journalism. But that's the reality. The guy that runs NeoGAF is a jackass. The site is shit. If they support this kind of stuff, fuck them. Why would anybody in the industry want to be attached to that website? I sure as shit wouldn't want to be there. Oh, because they get the honor of having Jason Schreier post there, the same guy that doesn't give a fuck about ethics or objectivity. It's a real fucking accomplishment, NeoGAF. GG. Who poisoned me? I don't know. I mean, I went on a trip to West Africa to, enjoy the weather. When I got back, I couldn't stop bleeding from my eyeballs. So I don't know who poisoned me, but I'm sure somebody's responsible. Uh, just a thought, but maybe focus on retweeting nice articles from those websites, mostly to promote their existence. Are you talking about the websites that people are saying are good or are a good alternative? Yeah, I would say that would be something you'd want to do. Listen, again, you have to get word of mouth out there. If you want Kotaku to get kicked in the balls for being a dick like they're being, then you need to be willing to at least do some word of mouth. That doesn't mean you have to shill for shit. But if you go to one of these websites like GamesNosh or whatever, and you read an article and you actually like it, I mean, you legitimately like it, then put it out there for other people to read. They're not going to just grow overnight. You have to create enough of an interest that advertisers will say, okay, we've got people reading the articles and they're talking about it on social media, so we want to do business with them. And that's how it builds. Again, you need to siphon off the business from sites like Kotaku and Polygon and others and make it seem unprofitable to do business with them in comparison to newer sites or better sites or more ethical sites. Let's see what the YouTube stream is saying. Good luck, Ebola-chan. Good luck, yeah. There were threads about that. Did that get banned too? Did they stop letting Ebola-chan threads go on? Those were funny as hell. God, why do they always shit can the great threads? I don't understand it. Do I have wigs? Do I own wigs in real life? No, I don't. Are there any? That's another good question. Somebody's saying, is there any information about the metrics involving these sites? Start to compile them. There are websites that exist that will tell you traffic in a very detailed way. Again, people have a talent for that. Start writing it down. If somebody's going to do videos about updates, give it to them. Fuck, make a little news brief that talks about the events of the day and talks about each of those sites and their traffic numbers, and just report on it. more information you can condense into one source to be able to share with other people, the better that information will be. The more people it will reach. It'll be easier for everybody. Somebody saying, call Fox News. Call anybody you want. I mean, shit, you've got sites like Breitbart, and at the same time, you've got people connected to the Young Turks talking about it. Like I said, it's a weird fucking mishmash of people. So give them a call. Talk to anybody you can. There's no problem with trying to get the word out there. What is it? Somebody saying Alexa.com. I also saw, what is it, Quantcast or Quanticast had site metrics that talked about traffic and could give you information daily, monthly, or weekly. What's going on with Joe Rogan? I don't know. I know he's kind of been looking into stuff. I don't know really if he's going to talk about it or what his opinion either way is. I'd like to hear from him. I mean, I think he's an interesting guy. If he covered it, a lot more people would be paying attention. And I don't think he's the sort of person that would look at this and be like, oh, whatever, who cares? So he strikes me as the sort of person that'd be like, well, fuck them. If they're going to act like corrupt assholes, then fuck them all. If we fail, the gaming industry is going to die a slow death, isn't it? It will not be enjoyable. I'll tell you that much. How do you feel about Jim Sterling? What is that? How do you feel about Jim Sterling on The Escapist? I've seen his tweets and his thoughts on stuff. Listen, I don't agree with what Jim Sterling has said. There are other people I don't agree with. I don't think that means they should necessarily be fired. Look, you're dealing with a situation where you've got all these fucking journalists that are corrupt as shit, and they're really doing underhanded shit, and they're colluding with one another. That is shit they should get fired for. Jim Sterling has an opinion, you don't agree with it. Great, call him an asshole if he's being a fucking asshole. But, I've seen people say, well, fire him for having a difference of opinion. I think he's missing the fucking point, and he may be being a prick about it now, I don't know, but it's different. He's offering his opinion, but I haven't seen anybody point me to anything that's saying, oh, look, Jim Sterling's in this Google group, or Jim Sterling is getting money, or Jim Sterling is giving money to all these people that we've seen and all the shit going on. Somebody said IGN is a joke. Hey, everybody likes Mountain Dew and Doritos. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Oh, somebody's saying the volume is going to shit? I don't know, man. My technical setup is crap. It could very well be going to fucking crap. I don't know. And my voice is dying on me, so I'm probably going to end this soon. So just to recap as best I can, you all have, like I said, you all have fucking different abilities. You know what you're good at. Put it to use. There are websites that exist out there that you can start to go to formulate your own plan. Get together with like-minded people and focus on whatever project it is that interests you. Fucking do 100 things if that's what you want to do. But at least try to make the information you find digestible and share it. And share other people's information. If you see somebody find something that's interesting and they're talking about it on some social media site, fucking blast the shit out of that. Retweet it. Draw people's attention to it. And they'll do the same for you. The more information you can spread, the more connections you can focus on, the better. Like I said, you need to hurt their business. And that's going to happen a multitude of ways. There are new sites that are popping up that are going to siphon off their audience and their advertisers. As more information comes to light, it's going to embarrass the people associated with these sites. And it's going to make people not want their brands to get tarnished by being in connection in any way to any of these people. And you've already starting to see the cracks in the facade. They don't want to do it. It's a united front. They're very, very strong about that. But how can you defend somebody like Leigh Alexander or whatever her fucking name is, the one that's, the fucking I'm a megaphone, I'll end you shit. Get fucked, lady. You're a megaphone. No, you're a mega bitch is what you are. And I wouldn't want to work in an industry with you because you seem like just a fucking miserable person to be around. And eventually, they're going to, like I said, they're going to turn on each other. Somebody's going to crack. More information will come to light. It is a prolonged battle. You've got this one opportunity. I really want to stress that. You have this one opportunity to make this work. If we fuck this up, it is never coming back. Ever. If we fuck this up, we're done for. So you gotta have faith. What can I say? Good luck. I'll talk to you in a week.